Creating contacts. Creating new contacts in Act is the most important step as part of your journey with your CRM with the contact, um, because the information you're enjoying there will come through the life of the contact in how we work with them, interacting with them, etc. And also particularly when other product managers come to this contact, it's good to have all the information. So I've just got here on the screen a contact that I've picked because it's got a nice set of information. So obviously what we should always see when we look at a contact is everything from company, contact details, titles, phone, mobile if possible, address. Whilst that doesn't get used too often, it has its benefits to have it there, even just to know geographically where the contact is. But we do occasionally do things by post or use that. Of course, an email address is critical. So that's the fundamentals. Then what really needs to happen is that we need to assign this contact to a market sector to know really which market sector this customer from. And also, in the groups field, we need to ensure that we allocate this contact to at least one group, maybe not multiples. In this case, over the years, this contact has been added to a number of groups, but it all started off probably with being a Smith & H contact, Smith & H interested user, and then obviously that's linked over the years. And you can see there's been a number of other things it's been added to, but with that, if a contact doesn't belong to a market sector in a group, it was highly unlikely it would ever be included in any of our proactive marketing activities, such as email invites and things like that. So, full contact details, market sector, group opportunities, that's a must. Now, once we've done that, now we've got that information, the question is, well, how could I go ahead and create new contacts? Well, there's a number of approaches, and that's going to depend in already. So let's say this contact works for a company that's already in Act. Then the simplest tool is to find that company and just add the details. I'm going to show you how to do that. So in this case, I'm just going to click on the hyperlink for this company. That then switches us to the company's view in Act, and we can see we have here AB Agri-Food with the key information. So if I want to create a new contact, I would click Company Actions. Create contact from company, and what that does, it's going to create a new record. It's calling it a duplicate, but I'll just say yes. And essentially what it does, it carries forward all the basic information that we don't want to type again. And once we've done that, we can just say, right, you are Joe Blogs, and I would find an email, so Joe Blogs, whatever, to associate the market sector. We have to make sure we've added them to a group. Okay. So in this case, I'll say, well, there we go. He's interested. He's part of that. There we go. Now we have the basics. Of course, there's a lot of other groups this contact could be added to, but that's the bare minimum. Now we know what we want with this. Now, in a situation where you've got a contact that works for a company that's not yet in our company's listing, and obviously the company's listing is here, and you can watch the other video to see how you can look up, but let's assume the company does not exist, it's a new contact. So there's two things you can do, there's two ways to do it. You can either, first of all, create the company, add the contact, and that is by doing create new company. Okay, and we create Joe Blogs company. Address 123 TS City. Say 184. There we go. Pick some random information. Oxfordshire postcode. Once we've got that, it's great because we can now go back to the previous instructions and say, right, I'm going to create a contact with the company. Say yes, and now straight away reverse to the contact view and say Joe looks there, and it's same as usual. Email, market sector has to be picked, group has to be picked, and of course let's not forget, so in this case we'll say, well, there you go, that's a DLS, interesting. Okay. There we are, that's one of the ways. An alternative way is actually to just directly create a new contact. Okay. That's the third option, should be the last resort. And again, I'll say just types of information. What you are now going to do is put all the details, etc., etc. By doing it this way, the main downside is it's not going to create the company hyperlink. So this company would not appear in the companies tab because it's not been created as a company. In order to do that, you would then have to click on the three dots as I've just done here, and essentially create a new company. To do that, I'm just going to save. To do it, yes. Now, second, that would then allow you to do that. Okay, so these are the ways to create the contacts. So recommendation, if that company already exists, use the company's approach. If not, you have to go through creating a new company, or you create the contact and then moving forward the company. Okay, that ends the instructions for how to create new contacts in ACT. Thank you very much.